Hello everyone, this is Eric, and this is part 2 of my campaign run-through. Still on level 1, the Pillar of Autumn. If you were watching the last video, I was talking about the brand new maps. Well, they're not brand new, they're just remade. And I was talking about Damnation and Penance. And I looked it up so I can actually be prepared for this commentary. So there won't be any awkward silences. But I actually figured out what the changes were between Damnation and Penance. Apparently, the gaps between the bridges on the outside of the map are filled in, so you can actually walk through it. Not that big of a change, and that's probably why I never noticed it. Also, if you're going out to that part of the map, you're kind of stupid because you're just a walking target. Now, I think that map looks beautiful. Like, I always love the purple Halo maps. The ones that are just the Covenant theme, where you're on a Covenant ship, or in this case, a water processing plant. Really, really cool. I really appreciate that map. And the best strategy I can come up with for it is just use jetpack, because it helps with the elevation changes. It's always really difficult to change those elevations quickly with other perks like sprint or armor lock, because one armor lock you can't even move fast. And it's super noobish anyway, and sprint, you just can't get up the levels quick enough. The next map is High Noon, or also known as Hang'em High from Halo 1. And I just don't care for this map. I love it, but it's not my favorite. I'll say that. That's what I really feel. It's just not my favorite. There really weren't any changes to the map except for the graphics and the outside scenery. But, I mean, they really didn't need to make any changes. It was already fine. Though, I have played some really, really unbalanced infection games on it. Because there's this one part where it's a bridge and there's only one way to get to it. So, the zombies can either jump up to you on that bridge, which is really hard. They can barely get up there. All you have to do is stand in the middle of it to completely avoid any chance of them hitting you. Or they could just walk across the bridge but then get picked off by everyone's pistol. The only way they can actually kill you is if you accidentally fall off, which everybody does, you know. But, I mean, it's still really cool. I've done some decent games on it, nothing spectacular. I think it's just because I'm unfamiliar with the map. The next one is Solitary, or also known as Prisoner from Halo 1. And there were some pretty big alterations to the layout. I really can't point them out because I'm not too familiar with that map from Halo 1. But I will say this. It's a good map if you have jetpack. Again, jetpack, you have to use jetpack. But if you don't, you're pretty much screwed. At the same time, I think the spawns are just awful on that map. Especially for free-for-all. Bad. Really bad. You can't... You'll spawn 5 feet away from a guy. It's... I think maybe because the map is too small. But, you know, that makes for better gameplays, I guess. I'm not really sure. One common theme I'm noticing with these maps is they're very small. Like, I mean, you can't really say anything otherwise. They're just really small. And it's tough to win on these really small maps. But, I mean, I like it. I love the scenery outside, you know. It makes you feel even more isolated in this unbreakable barrier that you're in. And it's really... It's a fun map if you can do well on it. And if you know where everything is. The fourth map is Breakneck, also known as Headlong from Halo 2. And apparently the changes are there's a new man cannon, and there's a hole in the ceiling on the second floor of the corner building. I don't know where this is, but apparently that's where it is. If any of you can figure that out, great. Really, I mean, this was one of my favorite maps from Halo 2. I loved playing on Headlong because it was just such yet really creative map. I love how there were always just tons of vehicles to drive in a somewhat tight space. Like, it's not the biggest map ever, but it holds true to that Halo 2 theme very, very well, and the graphics just make it look beautiful. I love, though, one big thing with these maps I love is the fact that you can forge on them now. And the forge isn't as limited as in the prior games. You actually have more things to do with the forge. You can actually... See, that's the improvement I guess they were talking about, is you can actually use building blocks in any map, even the smallest ones. So it's very, very nice. And a map like Headlong, or, well, Breakneck, I should refer to it as its new name, is perfect for that, because there's actually room to forge. The next map, number 5, is Ridgeline, also known as Timberland from Halo 1. And the changes are quite a bit. There's a new city, a Forerunner city surrounds the map, which looks very cool. There are better trees, so in that, better trees means the thicker, fuller trees, really nice looking trees. They're actually trees. The bases were significantly changed. And the map is 20% smaller than the original. I really love this map. Like, it's so nice that Halo always has that one outdoor, like, super green kind of map. Even though I don't really care about being green, it's always, you know, nice to have all those trees and stuff. It really makes it visually pleasing. I think it's probably got the most potential for Forge, but who's to say? I mean, I might end up building a racetrack on it. Hey, in that case, stay tuned for the racetrack video. If I ever make a racetrack on that map, I will definitely post the video on this channel. And it probably is gonna suck, but you know, what are you gonna do? And the very last, number 6, everybody knows Battle Canyon, also known as Beaver Creek from Halo 2. Maybe the best multiplayer map of all time. And Battle Canyon holds true to its word. Well, sort of. Beaver Creek holds true to its word with the new graphics. Battle Canyon adds some stuff. And Battle Canyon takes the teleporters off of the back of the bases and puts them in a smaller cave-ish room behind the bases. So they added a couple new rooms behind the bases, and they're little, and people like to camp there, and it's really annoying. But, you know, I make do. There's new lifts behind the base on Battle Canyon instead, and they'll just lift you up to the back of the base. at the very top, which is really nice. I really appreciate that. It's really, really good for that. And there's 2 new caves on the very side, each side of the map. And I think those help with the mobility issue. Like, sometimes it's really hard to just move around the map. And Battle Canyon does a good job in that, addressing that issue, even though in Beaver Creek it really wasn't an issue. I love this map. Like no tomorrow. I could play this map all day. And it wouldn't give me a problem. Except for the fact that I tend to not be able to win on it because it's really difficult. I did have a 24 kill free-for-all game on there one time. So that's a good plus. But you'll never see that video because I lost. Now, since I just covered all the maps, I guess I'll just talk about the new Firefight map and maybe some future ideas that I think that 343 should do with Halo. The new Firefight map, Installation 4, and this one's really cool because it introduces Marines and ODSTs, and the map is it's like launch on Black Ops with the rocket taking off, but instead it's a Forerunner structure with a windmill that spins around really fast and then releases a big burst of plasma into the sky, and it makes a lot of noise and it's really cool. I really, really do like this map. It's way better than Unearthed. Like, Unearthed was good, but it was kind of a flop of a Firefight map. It was decent like Waterfront was on Halo Reach, you know. Still though, Unearthed was, you know, I always love DLC, you know, just to have it. But this one, Installation 04, is beautiful, and if any of you don't know, it takes place in the spot at the very end of the second level of this campaign. So you'll eventually see it in my video, and I'll probably point it out like, oh, that's Installation 4. The Marines and the ODSTs kind of don't do that much. I mean, they're better if you're playing solo, but if you're playing with a group of people, they just get in the way and they take your kills on occasion. And if you kill them, you lose points, which I don't understand why anybody would want to kill them. That's just, you know, that's just me. But it's very fun, very fun. And, you know, Firefight's always fun to play, especially with friends. You could just crush the Covenant with rocket launchers. Now, I said earlier I was going to talk about some future ideas. I think, and I hopefully get the rest of the Halo 1 maps in a DLC, or just a new DLC. I would love to see that, because DLC just means more maps to play on and more fun time. I really love DLC. And this is kind of optimistic, and really, I don't care if it doesn't happen, but it would be really nice is if they made a remake of Halo 2. This one, in my opinion, is the best Halo game. Halo 2, if you didn't understand what I was saying. It had the best campaign and the best multiplayer maps. It was a masterpiece in its own right. And if they remade it, that would be the best. They probably won't, but you never know. That would be really, really cool. Well, I'd say I've pretty much run out of stuff to talk about for this video. Part 3 will be coming out soon, and that's the very end of the level. And before I go, I will say this. I get lost on this level. This is the only level in the game that I just don't remember where to go or what to do. So it's troubling for me sometimes because I will get lost because the map doesn't really guide you very well. Anyway, guys, this is Eric, and rate, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully you'll come back for the next video.